Afghanistan. The most talked about topic in the international political sphere today. We are here to present our viewers with some interesting insight, pertaining to the complex political structure, though apparently is not a part of the structure in plain but plays a pivotal and powerful role in the country's politics and defense. Dear viewers, there are certain heads of tribes or community elders, who own an army of warriors. Yes. An army of warriors, which they developed during the Russian invasion to fight against Russian forces. This is how the things are in Afghanistan for the past 40 years or so. They are powerful and experienced. When it comes to war and political influence in the country's politics, all of them own international links with European countries, USA, UAE, and neighboring countries' governments. Before going further, we request our viewers to subscribe our channel as well as like and comment in the comment section below. Do inform us with your valuable opinion about our work. Thanks. How they came into being. Who made and supported them. In fact, during the Russian invasion, like we observed today, Afghan army proven to be weak against Taliban's advancement. The same, rather it was worse in those days. Afghan army was not in any shape to counter Russian attacks. US, Europeans, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan were supporting Afghanistan. In absence of strong Afghan army, a call for jihad was given to Islamic countries, and warriors from all corners of the globe were welcomed to Afghanistan in the war to fight against Russia. US, Saudi poured the money and provided military hardware, while Pakistan remained in the training and supporting the Mujahideens. Pakistan also provided refuge to millions of Afghanis in their country. This was when many Mujahideens groups were formed across Afghanistan, who fought, and we note in the history that Russian had to face a humiliated defeat at the hand of these warriors. Soon after exit of Russian forces, US and Europeans left supporting the country while it was already divided into various powerful groups of Mujahideens that sparked the civil war afterwards. For a long time Afghanistan was pushed into chaos that ruined the country further. Head of these groups later were called as Warlords of Afghanistan and became important pillar of Afghanistan politics. These warlords know how to fight a war inside Afghanistan. They have vast experience, they fight slow and for a longer time. They achieve their objectives slowly but consistently. The strategy, which in the first place is not only tiring but also frustrating for their opponent. Due to the same strategy, the cost of war goes to unforeseen limits that we see that happened with Russians and recently with the coalition forces. They achieve their objectives slowly but consistently. Many of the groups which support Taliban today have been fighting wars for the last 40 years. Let's start with the number one on the list. In these warlords is Marshal Abdul Rashid Dostum. Formerly known as General Abdul Rashid Dostum, and before that time he was known as Commander Abdul Rashid Dostum. He is 64 years old and belongs to Uzbek origins. He opened eyes in a poor family. Marshal Dostum is famous for his brutalities. He remained very instrumental since the war against Russia as well as during the invasion of NATO forces. Dostum is famous and well respected by many in his area. He knows how the war is fought on Afghanistan soil. Having sharp mind and vast experience in the warfare, has excelled in the developing exceptional war strategies. Dostum remained against Taliban and fought against them since 90s, the pre-NATO invasion times. Unlike today, most Taliban were considered Pashtuns, while Pashtun and Uzbek conflicts is spread over last many decades in the history of Afghanistan and especially during the civil wars. In the post-NATO invasion era, Dostum engaged in politics of Afghanistan. He became defense minister in the cabinet of former President Hamid Karzai. He also remained Vice President of Afghanistan during 2014 to 2020 under Ghani's government. Dostum owns thousands of warriors. Dostum is famous as hardcore anti-Taliban. He remained in war crimes against Taliban during NATO invasion and is known to be responsible for killing many Talibans himself. The most famous is the Dasht-e-Lila incidents, quoted internationally, where hundreds of Talibans were suffocated to death in containers, while many were shot dead. He never accepted Taliban. Recently, he fled to Uzbekistan in the wake of Taliban's advancements and taking control of his area, though Dostum came from Turkey, and in an interview with Tolo TV he vowed that he is going to Jawazjan province to fight against Taliban. He also added that he is a warrior, has fought all his life and will die in the war. The next on our list is the engineer Gulbuddin Hekmatyar, heading the Hizb Islami Party of Afghanistan. Hizb means a group. His party is known as Afghan chapter of an international Islamic party, Jamaat-e-Islami. Gulbuddin has always been an important character of Afghanistan politics. He remained Prime Minister of the country twice. In the post-9/11, he left Afghanistan and remained in exile in Iran. His party share same values like Taliban's. They claim to represent Pashtuns in the country like the Talibans do. Many of the war analysts and historians consider Hizb-e-Islami's role very significant, during war against Russia. U.S. supported Hizb-e-Islami with military weapons worth millions of dollars to fighting against Russia. Hizb-e-Islami also had the support of Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Gulbuddin remained in conflict with Ahmedzada Sood and Dostum. His warriors engaged both the Ahmedzada Sood and Dostum forces after withdrawal of Russian forces. During 1996, when Talibans were heading towards Kabul, Hizb-e-Islami warriors had made battles with Talibans. Gulbuddin went to Herat when Taliban took over Kabul at that times. After NATO invasion of Afghanistan, Gulbuddin announced jihad against USA. It mean, first he fought against Talibans, but when US invaded Afghanistan, he started fighting against US and NATO forces. However, during occupation of Afghanistan by US, Hizb-e-Islami faced deterioration and few of the people joined the new Afghan government and became member of Karzai's cabinet. In 2016, Hizb-e-Islami went into agreement with Afghan government and they stopped opposing government on any front. As of today, August 2021, Gulbuddin has not taken side with any party, neither Taliban and nor the government. Atta Muhammad Noor is another warlord, the former governor of Balkh province and belongs to Tajik community. He is mostly influential in the area of Mazar Sharif. He remained very active during the civil war which sparked during in the post-Russian withdrawal times. He is 57 years old and hold a group of thousands of warrior from Jamaat-e-Islami group. In few of the experts' opinion, the ground realities is that he is practically the ruler of his area. So far he is not on the scene of any conflict or war. Atta has not taken any side so far between government and Talibans. However, in an interview with the Afghan newspaper he criticized government's incompetency and pointed towards inappropriate defense strategy to be the reason of Taliban's success. He also criticized the NATO forces' withdrawal and the withdrawal strategy, at this time. He further added, during prevailing confusions and chaos, U.S. forces' withdrawal are considered a complete defeat and is kind of runaway plan with no strategy. Political settlement has not made so far that could guarantee the longer-lasting peace in the country. He proposed the development of a new militia force to fight Taliban. The current army is not capable enough to reclaim our areas from Taliban. Down the list, comes the name of Muhammad Ismail Khan, who remained the former vice president in Ghani government, is also called as Lion of Herat. Muhammad Ismail Khan is counted among one of the strongest warlord in the country. In the recent battles, he along with Afghan army, posed a great resistance against Taliban attacks in Herat. Talibans didn't feel any threat from Afghan army but did consider Ismail Khan a great hurdle on their way. The same happened what was expected. Taliban had to face difficulty to capture Herat as his warriors fought back effectively. According to some claims and report he has 2,000 warriors. Ismail Khan being experienced in war had deployed his forces on various important positions to defend Herat. Though he had to surrender in the but posed a tough time for Taliban. Next name is Abdul Rasul Siyaf, born in the city of Pakistan in Kabul province. He is also counted in the elders of Afghanistan and head of tribe. He is the most aged warlord. Siyaf founded the militia with the name of Ittihad ul-Islami during 80s and became renowned commander in the war against Russia. Siyaf militia fought very well and achieved numerous important targets against Russian forces. Siyaf is also known to have direct personal relations with royal family of Saudi Arabia as well as good relation with Pakistani establishment. He has visited Saudi Arabia and Pakistan numerous times. He is known to be the first man who offered refuge to Osama bin Laden when he was exiled from Sudan in 1996. Siyaf being considered elder, also remained the member of Warlords of Afghanistan. He also remained in the Afghan parliament during 2005. However, in the recent conflict of Afghan government and Taliban he remained out of the scene, but he was considered very powerful and could have changed the conflict map. Next is Ahmedzada Sood, a very famous warrior in the war against Russia. He earned a great repute among Afghans as well as internationally during that time. He belongs to Panjshir region and Tajik community, the Northern Alliance which sided with NATO forces against Talibans. However, he was assassinated on 9 September 2001 in the Takhar province. His son Ahmedzada Sood is heading now. He is 32 years old and educated from UK. 2 years ago, he announced a political alliance against Taliban in order to unite anti-Taliban groups. In past few months, he contacted many small anti-Taliban armed groups or militia to form a strong force to crush Taliban in the post-NATO withdrawal scenario. However, he is not considered as strong as his father was. Next is Abdul Ghani Ali Per Shamsher, commonly known as Commander Shamsher. Another famous warlord of Afghanistan. He belongs to Maidan Wardak province and represent Shia Hazara community. According to a report broadcasted at Tolo News Afghanistan, he owns approximately 2,000 to 2,500 warriors. His forces remained in the various conflicts with Afghan forces and also with Talibans. There have been severe armed conflicts between Commander Shamsher and Talibans. The basic conflict rises from the religious beliefs both the groups have. Several from both sides lost their life. Recently a Taliban delegation visited Iran and used Iranian influence to enter into a peace deal with Hazara community. Since Iran is kind of headquarter of Shia sect of Muslims around the world. Resultantly Talibans controlled this area without any battle there. During all this process Commander Shamsher remained silent and showed no interest towards either side. Experts says that warlord played important roles during the war against Russia and during the civil war in the post-Russian withdrawal. However, in the recent episode of Taliban taking over Afghanistan, most of the warlords remained neutral or sided with the Taliban via backdoor channels. This is one of the major reasons that served as foundation of Taliban's success. Dear viewers, We hope this vlog have provided you all the information which was interesting enough, and at the same time it tells us about the war history of Afghanistan as well as the big change as we see today. We hope to bring some other interesting stories soon. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We will be waiting for your valuable comments on the recent situation in Afghanistan and its future.